There's a lot being said about me on the internet right now. I just wanted to clear the air.
A famous TikToker known as Bentelect has over 11 million followers, at least at the time of recording this video. Some time ago, Bentelect has gotten into a lot of backlash for reading other people's jokes on TikTok without crediting the original source, while simultaneously attempting to send false copyright claims to anybody who showed a snippet of his content in their video. Well, once again, Ben seems to be in a controversy, but this time the situation seems much worse. Women have been calling him out on Twitter for being a really nasty person to them, for rejecting his intimate advances as well as his proposals to make OF content with them. Ben has made 2 responses, one through text and another via TikTok, where he has his comments turned off and is threatening legal action towards at least one of the women who has come forward with these accusations. Creators have also come forward amplifying the voices of the women Bentelect has allegedly affected, and many have deemed Ben to be one of the biggest losers on TikTok. It's Chester.
Hey, hello. He's your good boy, yes.
So before we get started with this video, I need to tell you something that is concerning. My computer is on its final, I want to say days, but hopefully it's a little bit longer than that. About a week ago, I turned it off, and then it didn't turn back on. We found out that it was the computer's power supply. Even getting a new power supply could mean that it wouldn't get fixed. Luckily, as you see me being recorded right now, it had fixed a lot of the problems. I do have a laptop, just that I have to get adjusted to that for a little while until I can replace my desktop. I'm trying to hold off as long as I can before getting another one. We're gonna have to see what happens. So there is a TikToker who goes by the name Bentelect. The first time I heard of him was actually when I was scrolling on TikTok and I started seeing really creepy videos of people calling him out and basically making fun of him, not for any of the stuff we're talking about today. About a year or so ago, a lot of horror-related TikToks were made where they would take a clip of his video and then put like a scary picture in front of it, calling him Benny Boy and stuff like that. I didn't know much about him other than that. People have been unhappy with the way that he essentially just seems to steal jokes from Twitter and laugh at them on a TikTok. Like, he'll read them out loud and go, and then go to the next Twitter joke.
Okay, facts.
And here's the thing, I'm not against reading tweets when it comes to covering a topic that tweets might be supporting evidence of. For example, in today's video, I'm going to be reading the entire Twitter thread about Bentelect that was posted by Jordan Max, and I'm also not the only person who does read tweets sometimes in videos to support a topic or to further explain something that is going on or even show the general reaction to something going on. Another creator here on YouTube does this, who is Boblax, and he does Twitter versus videos where, again, he is reading tweets by several different people, but they are all supporting a specific topic. They are all supporting a larger story, and it adds context to a situation. But when it comes to people like Bentelect, what he'll do is he will just read jokes, laugh at them, and then continue. I think I watched a Oompaville video where he compared him to Sniper Wolf, basically, which, yeah, it kind of makes sense because it doesn't really add much value or context. But people watch this guy. People watch his content on TikTok. People watch his content on YouTube. He seems to get a lot of views through YouTube Shorts, but not so much through regular YouTube videos. But he has quite a large following on both platforms. For a guy that seems to be so joyful and full of laughter with his reading funny jokes for TikToks, he seems to be really aggressive and malicious towards people, specifically people he allegedly wants to sleep with. An OF creator who goes by the name of Jordan Max on Twitter has made a large thread calling out Bentelect recently for the way he treated her after she declined his request to make an OF video on her page. I will link the thread in the description of this video. Not only does she share her experience, but the experience of other anonymous women as well. There have been a lot of allegations that have come out against Bentelect, and Jordan Max seems to be the one showing a large amount of information regarding these allegations. She has her own experience, experience and has boosted the voices of others, most of which who wanted to remain anonymous due to how allegedly aggressive this guy can be, and also what I assume is due to his eagerness to threaten legal action towards anybody who criticizes him. I have seen him try to make false copyright claims towards people for using his videos, even if it's just for like a few seconds. Honestly, if he tries to copy strike my video in any way, or basically pull a Brent Rivera or level 3 IQ smooth-brained move to try and silence everything that is going on, I will become very obnoxious and annoying about it. He seems to be unhinged, to be honest. Before we continue, I need to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Factor. Factor makes meeting your nutritional goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals directly to your door. Factor meals arrive pre-prepared and ready to eat within 2 minutes, which is perfect for busy lifestyles. Factor has been a really great option for me because I usually skip lunch entirely in the middle of the day, which is usually my busiest part of the day. I'm doing a lot of work. It gets really overwhelming to even think about, so I usually skip it entirely. That is until I have tried Factor, which really has been a game changer for me. It has kept me on track with eating lunch, and it was really easy. Factor is also really helpful when it comes to cutting back on grocery costs. It also is a really good alternative to getting takeout on a lunch break. By the way, the meals that I've received tasted amazing. All I had to do was get the box from the fridge, pop it in the microwave. Yes, I did accidentally put 5 minutes instead of 2 minutes. Luckily, I caught that in time and I fixed the timer and everything was good. Pay attention to what you're microwaving and the time that you put on the microwave. Nevertheless, the meals tasted great. It was a really convenient way to get me to eat lunch when normally I'd skip it. It was a convenient and nice thing to have, and I really like it. Head on over to factor75.com or click the link below and use code MIMI50 to get 50% off of your first Factor box. Thank you so much to Factor for sponsoring today's video, and with that being said, let's get back into today's topic. I was invited to be on a podcast by a pretty popular TikTok creator, and 3 hours before we were supposed to record, he asked me if I wanted to make an OF video with him, which I declined. And 1 hour before we were supposed to meet up, he canceled, and this is why. Do you want to make a video for OF? When? Today. No, you need a TTS test from within the last 14 days and an OF creator account. I mean a video for your page. Doing what? I don't know. What performs best on your page? I was just thinking you're helping me with doing a video for my YouTube, so maybe I could help with your OF. I'm good, thanks. Thanks though. No worries. Hey, gonna do the pickle video with someone else. Thanks though. There's something I want to add in here that I haven't seen anybody mention, which is the fact that Jordan says, thanks though, then in Bentelec's response, he uses the same wording, and I don't know if that was unintentional or if he was doing it to be passive aggressive from the way he talks to other people that we will see later in this video. I get this gut feeling that it was passive aggression and that he was trying to mock her, especially since after this he posted pictures of doing this pickle video, and it just seemed like a huge slap in the face to Jordan. So to me, this really does come off as passive aggressive. Okay, any particular reason why? To be honest, I thought it would just be fun to film and see where things go, but I got it. Okay, best of luck. Pickle tasting video coming soon. We were going to do a pickle taste testing mukbang video podcast, which was my idea in the first place. But now he's going to take my idea and do it with somebody else? Effing typical. I thought because you're a S worker, you're constantly looking to do that labor for free. And in the midst of eating pickles, like we talked about, you'd randomly want to have S. But now that I can't manipulate you, I don't want to do the video because I'm a crappy person. And by the way, it's not even like she said no indefinitely. She just said no until he gets the right testing and protocols taken place, because that is what is required in that field. Jordan then posts a screenshot saying, LOL, here we go. A screenshot shows a DM from Bentelec's Twitter stating, you need to take this tweet down or I will sue you. Jordan continues and shares a lot more information about how sex pesty Bentelec can allegedly be. So it turns out that I'm not the only one Bentelec has tried this with. Another woman who wishes to stay anonymous DM'd me with screenshots from conversations she had with him as well. Take notes of the timestamps here. Saturday at 10:30, he wrote, "Do you work tomorrow?" Sunday morning, 2:43 a.m., she replies, "Sorry, crazy busy day. I don't work tomorrow, no." Ben responds, "No worries. Let's make some content tomorrow." Sunday at 9:30 in the morning, he writes, "What do you think?" Later on, around 11:18 a.m., he writes, "You're killing me, gorgeous." And then at 2:35 p.m. he says, "I've also been thinking about creating this OF thing, and I think I could make us a lot of money, straight up." On Sunday at 7:40 p.m. she writes, "Hey, sorry I've been MIA. Today has been like a mental health day." He responds, "Hey, thank you." Monday at 6:52 a.m. he writes, "Do you want to come over tomorrow night?" Monday at 3:02 p.m. he writes, "Actually, are you down to come over tonight?" And then he writes, "Or are you just a flake?" Monday at 4:50 p.m. he writes, "Yeah, sorry babe, but you're just too much of a flake. Bye." She responds with, "You know, if you wouldn't have texted me so rudely by calling me a flake after one day of not texting, you might have stood a chance. I can see why you're single now. Goodbye." He says, "Yeah, whatever, go F yourself." Says the girl who's trying to make an OF. "Good luck. First you want to make content with me and now you're throwing it in my face? Save your words. You're just a flake. If you were actually upfront, I'd be down. But you probably have a lot going on, which is understandable. But either way, I honestly don't care. Cool, stop texting me then. Do you want to come over here and spend some time with me? Because on a side note, I do think I could probably make us some money on OF." He then gives what I assume is a title suggestion, which states, "Bentelect F's crazy blank into oblivion." I'm not sure what the redacted states. I'm assuming it's their name because they want to stay anonymous. "If you come over, I'll give you $1,000. I just really want you." Her response is, "I'm good right now. Don't try to bribe me with money. That's weird." Bentelect responds, "No, that is weird, but I want to see you." Jordan posts, "Another woman has come to me, wishing to remain anonymous, sharing her experience with Bentelect. This dude is a predator. Now, before we read this, I just want to say that is Jordan Max's words. These are allegations. I'm not here to say whether or not Bentelect is in fact a predator. We're just going off of what is being accused. And by the way, from what we know right now, I don't think she means child predator, just from what we know right now, because when people say the word predator, that's the first thing most people assume. This message states, "Hi, I am so sorry you went through that with that guy. I hooked up with him for a while in 2019 or 2020, back when he was attempting to be a rapper. He's really got no rhythm. He's a pretty shady guy. We matched on Tinder and he said he was 25, but later he told me he was 29. When I was trying to stop hooking up, he kept telling me that he seriously wanted to try dating. After seeing him another time, he told me he wasn't looking for anything serious. Then gaslit me that he never said anything like that with me. He called me crazy and said he hopes I find help. I found out he already had a girlfriend, and when I told her, she told me he was 31. She told me he also lied to her when they started dating. She was younger than me, and he had said that he was in his early 20s with her. He was literally trying to hook up with younger girls on Tinder. At the time, I think I was like 23. Again, we don't know what younger means in regards to this other person. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't seem like they were underage, or I would imagine that this person would have stated that. Younger could mean 18, 19, or 20 years old, which definitely could lean on the creepy side if he's in his 30s, but again, as of right now, one, these are allegations, and two, there's no clarification on how much younger his girlfriend at that time was. She just says younger, so at some age younger than 23. Jordan Max then says, "We have another DM from another anonymous woman. Oh my god, I've dealt with Bentelect too. Actually, he's bothered a lot of women. I don't have any screenshots from our 3-day hangout, but he told me he loved me and asked me to move in right away. I started pushing back that it was too much, and he flipped out on me. It was days later after I was cheated on, and he was like, I don't want to talk to you about feelings. I want to talk about us. He is an alcoholic and needs to seek help immediately. I'd also have a lawyer if I were you, because he's the type to sue even if he doesn't have grounds to." Again, I want to just jump in here for a second and add everything in this video is alleged. These are all accusations, and also I'm really just doing my best to cover this situation because I find it to be important to share the voices of those who might be in a situation of abuse. In this issue, it's very infuriating to see somebody treat people like this. From all of the things we've seen publicly, this does seem to be something that allegedly happened multiple times, and that was also validated in Bentelek's response when he says something along the lines, "I'm sorry to anybody that I made feel uncomfortable."
I'm sorry to anyone that I've made feel uncomfortable.
If it was just Jordan, he would have said, "Jordan, I'm sorry for making her feel uncomfortable," not anybody. So in the way that he uses his language there, it does indicate that there is a possibility of this being multiple people, which corroborates the story of multiple anonymous people coming forward about him. Jordan then states, "For everyone doubting that the screenshots I've posted are real, I've screen recorded his Notes app non-apology while clicking through the DM he sent threatening to sue me. So you can see that they are, in fact, from the same account. And here is that video." Jordan then states, "Wow, Bentelek is hiding comments now? What a very normal and rational thing for an innocent person to do." This is in response to his Twitter Notes apology that he made. Before Bentelek privated his Twitter account, he stated, "I've recently been accused of some heinous actions and would like an opportunity to share my disgust at these accusations. I am a firm believer in the rights and equality of all humans, including women." I know this was pointed out by other commentators such as Oompaville and Critical, but why was this worded this way? Why was it worded in a way that people wouldn't assume that women were included in the term humans? It's very odd, and it has rightfully been pointed out multiple times. I think it just shows the contrary of what he is trying to come off as in this response. It does make him seem like he is not the greatest towards women, because somebody who isn't like that wouldn't word it like this. "I grew up in a home with 3 sisters and no brothers. So I've learned very early on the importance, power, love, and abilities women have. They deserve to be cherished and uplifted and treated with respect, and that's how I live my life. I do not condone the statements or accusations that have suddenly been hoisted upon me, and I hope to speak to anyone who feels that they have been wrong." One of the hidden replies states, "There are literal screenshots of the way that you treated women, entitled manipulative and gross. This is so embarrassing." But it continues to get worse. Jordan then posts, "Okay, folks, we have another woman coming forward with insane text messages from Bentelek, and y'all are really still going to defend this guy? Well, I guess it's just not meant to be then. Facts. No hard feelings, but yeah, it ain't working. Peace emoji. Peace." And for your future self, if you're going to turn around on a guy and say, "Hey, I'm not down for the friends with benefits stuff," just say that before you go through all the BS. Boring AF. Not my problem that you turned around and quit drinking because you're an alcoholic and now pass out at 8 p.m. Effing peace out. Clearly, there are some hard feelings on your part. Haha. LOL, it's whatever. And I am far from an alcoholic. I don't like giving time and attention to someone who is full of crap. I've been trying to hang out, and it's been blah 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 excuses every single time, so don't waste people's time in the future and you won't get hard feelings. Far from an alcoholic, but you effing pass out at 4 in the effing morning, sleep for 3 hours, and then pass out at 10 o'clock, and then sleep until 3 in the morning and continue to sleep till noon. Okay. Anyway, I'm done. I just had to say that because you're full of crap. Clearly, I wasn't that interested to begin with, and you weren't able to take the hint a month ago. If I actually wanted to hang out with you, I would have made an effort. Then shut the F up and quit wasting people's time, you stupid. If I recall, I told you I didn't want anything to do with you when you were like, "Oh well, I would actually date you." I think he means date you, but you're boring as F. Just shut the F up and go to bed, bitch. Sounds like you need some anger management help. Be careful who you say that to, because there are people who really need help with that. Super effing disrespectful to say that to somebody, and also a very basic ass thing to say. There's a reason you've been single this many years, and it's because no one wants you and no one gives a F about you, because you aren't and you're not fun. You're boring as F, so shut the F up and get the F out of here. Basic ass boring loser. Also super disrespectful to tell someone they're an alcoholic, especially when that person has their degree in addiction counseling. Shut up. Yeah, and you use that degree pretty well, don't you? And I actually just got out of a year-long relationship in July, so no, you effing don't even have a job. You're an effing loser. Yeah, and that worked out well than that. That doesn't even make sense. No, because no one wants to be with you, because you're boring and fake and stupid as F. You're like, "Oh wait, no, I don't care, and that's why I put no effort, but still texting me back." You're just a fake ass. Wow, you really need to learn how to take a rejection. Going back to Jordan's tweet, according to this woman who also wishes to remain anonymous because clearly this dude is unhinged, they dated on and off a few years ago, but people don't really change, do they? My personal comment is that in this situation, no, it doesn't seem like Ben has changed if all of these texts are legitimate. More screenshots provided underneath this tweet state, wow, you really need to learn how to take rejection. And you're the one who's sending 5 texts for every one I send. Just a hint of advice before we continue reading this. If somebody is treating you like this, if somebody is texting you all of these vile things over and over and over again, don't even give them the satisfaction of responding. Just let them go. Let them rant. Let them rage. Don't even feed into them by making a 1-word or 1-paragraph response. It just feeds into this and fuels it even more. Block them, unfriend them, let them go. Just stop responding. If you even feel disrespected or feel like somebody is talking to you in a way that you don't deserve to be talked to, cut them off. Don't give them the satisfaction of a response. All it does is take away from your energy, and it feeds their anger and their frustrations towards you, which you don't need. Nobody needs that. Anyway, Ben states, allegedly, girls like you who say, oh well, you weren't able to take the hint, but still text and say are fake as f. And I'm glad that you and I are no longer effing talking, so please delete my number, carry on with your fake ass boring effing life, and God help any guy that gets involved with that loose ass because you are just effing lame. Mic drop ho. I really want to know how manly this guy felt writing mic drop ho at the end of that. Did that really make him pat himself on the back? I'm sure your TikTok fans will love the way you talk to women when I post these screenshots. Good luck. I stand by every single word that I said to you. Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do, and didn't apologize for this at all in any way, right? He then writes, anyway, peace out. Don't contact me again. She says bye. He continues to text. Again, like I said, please do not feed into this. If somebody is texting you over and over like this, don't even respond with a bye. Just stop responding. LMAO, you're lame as F. Glad you think so. I'm not the only one. Why are you typing? Just get over it. You can believe whatever you want. I'm not as lame as I appear to you when I'm actually interested in someone. LOL, I've seen what you're like when you're interested in someone. You don't talk. You aren't fun. You're boring. It's whatever. I mean, you really just have nothing to offer, so I'm out. Goodbye. Hard to talk when you never stop talking. Oh, I gave you time to stop talking. I literally tell people about my most boring date and it was with you. You don't have anything to say? You're just boring and said it yourself. I think he meant to say do you not, but that just breaks my brain. So just give up and understand that you can't hang. That's all. That's all there is. Okay, cool. Bye. Bye. Don't contact me again. Like real talk, you might have forgot, but you were the one who messaged me because you were at or some BS. Check yourself. You really need to do that more often. Shut up. See, what is happening here is she's trying to end the conversation, but he is trying to rope her back into the conversation by insulting her more and saying things that will make her respond because it's emotionally charged, and this is going to pull on her emotions and keep her roped into the conversation so he can keep verbally abusing her. He writes, shut up, don't type, don't message me again. You were on and you hit me up and I had no intention of talking to you ever again because I've had zero interest in you whatsoever. Okay? I understand you probably are upset about that. She says, but you did and then tried to hang out multiple times after, so... But get it through your head that there's nothing here and you're the one with feelings. And your fake ass kept texting back, so you wasted my time. And stop doing that. You're fake, you're boring, you're lame. Wouldn't have wasted your time if you didn't try because you had no feelings. Jordan shares, here are the last 2 screenshots and I am just completely blown away. We cannot keep letting him get away with this. And you wouldn't be this angry if you didn't have feelings. LMAO, alright, I'm done. This is exhausting at this point. Feelings for a snail? Laughing emojis. A lot of laughing emojis. It's entertaining seeing everything you were pulling out of your ass right now to try and offend me. More laughing emojis. Girl, you are never in my league, so good luck in life. She responds with the peace emoji. He says, daily reminder that you are full of crap. She says, thank you. My boyfriend sure doesn't seem to think so, and clearly you're having trouble getting me off your mind. Says the girl with a boyfriend texting another guy back. That text didn't need a response, just reminding you of who you are as a person. That is so manipulative and gross. He wants these responses. He wants to be able to pull her in to insult her more. Throwing that last blow in there shows that. She doesn't respond after that. Exactly 3 months go by and he states, hey, I just wanted to apologize for how things left off. Wasn't trying to be rude and say hurtful things, but I thought you meant everything you said. I always thought you were chill, so I wanted to say that. Hope all is well. Bruh, what is this? I thought you were so hell-bent on everything you said and you meant every word of it. You were standing your ground, right? Did his rage take 3 months to calm down for him to finally admit how irrational he was acting? Back to Jordan's tweets, she says, another anonymous woman from MN reached out to me with another similar story about the Bentelect podcast bait and switch. This one's cut off. I'm not sure exactly what the full message stated. I had the same experience with Ben. So did one of my friends. He wanted to record a podcast about TikTok fame and dating, and I was pumped. I got entirely ready, and then he ghosted. Hit me up the next day and said he wanted to F me so bad. On the phone. Complete disrespect. He threatened to sue me when I commented on. Again, it was cut off. I'm not sure if anything else was said there. Jordan then states, now he's hiding my comments on his post as well. Anyone who still thinks this piece of is innocent is most likely a predator themselves or has some major internal misogyny to deal with. Again, these are opinions that she shared. These are her words on the tweet. Personally, I'm not sure why anybody would defend this. All I can say is that these are really serious allegations, and as of right now, that's what we have to go off of. I will say that if everything coming out is true about Bentelect, then yeah, it is really something that people shouldn't be defending because nobody deserves to be talked to that way, especially by a guy who's just begging people for. Yeah, this is just disgusting. In this tweet, she shows screenshots of more hidden replies, of course, including her own hidden reply. Continuing, she says, another anonymous woman from MN coming forward with her experience with Bentelect. When is enough going to be enough? Seek help, my guy. Below, again, are provided more text. By the way, I want to let you know that the part of the reason I left last night was because you seem like you have a lot of guy friends, and I'm not interested in a girl who does. Oh my god, this guy sounds like Myron Gaines. He sounds like fresh and fit. He seems like he'd do great on that podcast. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know so you can be aware if that ever happens again. A few hours later, he then says, and I do want to apologize for last night. That was rude of me to leave, and you seem like a cool girl, and I got along with you, but something just made me feel like I shouldn't stay. She responds with, I don't know what to say. I'd rather really not talk about your reasoning, as you leaving was already a huge blow to my confidence. Have a nice day, though. No problem, no harm, no foul. Take care out there, you too. This response is stupid to me. He just says no harm, no foul, when she just stated how him leaving upset her, and him insulting her in the previous text messages as well, which I'm sure he would never apologize for. Oh, wait, he did apologize. A month later, he says, hey, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for the way things turned out, and if you're up for it, I'd be down to give it a second. I'd be down to give it a second chance. Bro, nobody wants a second chance if you're talking to them like that. What the f? So another screenshot is shared. LOL at you, your parents don't play. Well, now I'm there and I just got back. Add me on Snap if you don't believe me that I was out. LOL, I don't care if you was out. You're at home now. You ain't a down B, so nope. Have you been a part of this conversation at all? Or all I'm saying is if you're not down to swing by and hang out whenever, then yeah, I haven't been a part of this conversation at all. He then shares a post which is unfortunately unavailable. You're at your parents right now. I don't live that life. Sorry, but you're not in my league. My guy, my brother in Christ. It's 2023. How many people are comfortably living on their own in times like this? A lot of people cannot afford to move out of their parents' house, especially in their 20s. I feel like she has the same energy here because she writes a very long LMAO. She said, bro, are you on crack or meth? Like, you know I live at home, and I told you I start a new job at 8 a.m. tomorrow. I'm in bed in my pajamas in, I'm not going to share the location. Want me to swing by? You ain't out of no one's league, boy. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. He writes a laughing emoji. Jordan then says, I tried to take a nap and couldn't sleep. So I Googled these sisters he spoke of in his statement and texted them. This is how it went with one of them. I'm disappointed to say the least. This is a part of this thread that I feel really uncomfortable by. I have to be honest about that. It always makes me feel uncomfortable when people bring family members who aren't public figures into situations like this. However, maybe she thought that somehow she could get in contact with somebody and explain the severity of it to try and essentially prevent this from happening again. And the sister's response to me seems absolutely ridiculous. It's not a defense of his sister when I say this makes me uncomfortable. She is excusing him for doing these things. She is saying some really absurd stuff, even victim blaming at times. Hi, is this blank? Yes. Do Do you have a Twitter by chance? I don't do social media. Is your brother Ben? Yup. My name is Jordan Max. He's been pretty awful to several women recently. She adds, and he's using you and your sisters and mom as a crutch. She shares the Twitter apology. This person responds, look, Ben and I have a really close relationship. He has depression and suffers from being really lonely. No one understands what it's like to be rich and famous. You don't have to get involved in family stuff and get that deep with it. If you're hurt, I'm very sorry. There's a lot of therapy and outlets that can help. Don't feed hate, rumors, and other stuff. Let it die. Very out of touch with reality, obviously. It just feels like this person has no capability of rational human thought. I have no understanding as to why somebody would say this to a person who is coming to them and telling them, hey, your family member, your brother has done this to me. Why would any rational human being respond with, just let the situation die? That's more than a slap in the face. That is so invalidating and dehumanizing. Again, I might not agree with looking up somebody and getting their number offline to do this, but I understand the intention, and I understand that she was doing this to try and get this situation handled in any way she could, because at the end of the day, I am under the assumption her goal is to just make him stop doing this to women so nobody else can go through what she has gone through and others have gone through with him. I don't think she's trying to ruin his career. I think she's trying to just make him not treat people like this, because nobody deserves to be treated like this. It's disgusting. Here's a Twitter thread that I've compiled of screenshots and messages he sent to women, and there's some pretty terrible stuff in there. I'm reaching out to you because he is clearly troubled and could most likely use some help. So yeah, my thoughts on this are, I really do not agree with what his sister allegedly said here in this conversation. There is no excuse for what Ben has done, whether that is your brother, a family member, a friend, etc. While she might not be a public figure, I understand maybe the reasoning behind sending this message to his sister being a last-ditch effort to try and maybe get him some kind of help or have some sort of intervention or something, because clearly he seems to have a never-ending pattern of doing this. I think that even without the conversation with Bentelek's sister, this entire thread would have been enough to show most people, hey, this is what's going on, it's not okay, and people will get the heads up, like, maybe we shouldn't be interacting with him. I think that is going to be the most useful thing anyway, because, again, as we've seen in this conversation, his sister didn't seem too interested in trying to intervene anyway. I wish you the best and hope that you can get on with life. It's not worth trying to destroy somebody else's when it'll blow over. Not really sure what else to tell you, girl. Try and find happiness in something. Jesus really helped me with that. I try not to bring up beliefs a lot in videos. I know sometimes I'll talk about psychics like I did in the Little Tay video and I've done in the TikTok psychics video, because I understand a lot of people have different beliefs. I have my own beliefs, but when somebody is coming to you with really severe circumstances and information about something that you could potentially help, pulling out the, well, you know, just find Jesus card is so invalidating, and that too is another slap to the face. She writes, he literally forced himself on a girl. You might want to intervene. The sister responds, there are two sides to every story. You do not know that. And see if he needs anything more. The sister responds, take care. Jordan says, I don't know why, if these things are untrue, so many women are coming out with the same story, manipulation and coercion by him as an attempt to get them into bed. I have a brother too. The alleged sister responds, they probably had S and he wouldn't call them back. Classic Me Too stuff. It's really sad because it discounts women who are actually being ard. Knock it off and leave me alone and my brother. Jordan responds, and if he was treating women this way, I know I would want to know. I'm assuming in response to her last text it says, I have a brother too. She continues, your brother tried to use his rich and famousness to get me into bed under the guise of being on his podcast, then invited me to make an OF video with him. When I declined, he retaliated by uninviting me from the podcast, and he admitted to only inviting me to do the podcast to attempt to have S with me. I have the screenshots of the text conversation. The sister responds, you're lucky if he talks to you. Calm down. Obviously you're obsessed. This is annoying. Continuing, Jordan says, I do not think you're understanding what I'm trying to do here. Your brother is a danger to women. He is not a good person to them. Maybe you can help him find Jesus. Jordan then says more screenshots from another woman who wishes to remain anonymous, who speaks to someone like this when they don't get their way, a child or Bentelek apparently. Ben allegedly writes, you free? The response is, at a party right now. He then allegedly states, nice. Want to swing over and drink with me after? About an hour and a half later, he says, honestly, real talk, you were the most most passive-aggressive person. I know there was a reason I saw your tits and your too big, I'm out. I'm never gonna hit you up again. Peace. They say, what? He says, you're a flake ass. That's what. You've been saying I'm down for like 3 weeks, but you still ain't down to effing hang, so you're a flake ass. Just accept and move on, and whoever you're effing with is easy. Peace, girl. She responds, that's fine and all. I just don't understand why you've been rude, lol, because I've been busy. Busy is the easiest excuse. Like, if you're trying to hang out, you'll make time for someone. So get the F out of here with that busy excuse. I'm busy, but I make time. So instead, just say, I'm not interested, or I don't want to hang out, because if you were actually interested, you would make time to hang out. I think he meant to say point blank, but he wrote point blank and shit. You're probably just too young. You ain't grown enough to effing make a decision for yourself. Too young? LOL, how old do you think I am? How old are you, child? She writes, I am not a child, and it's weird to get mad at someone because they don't jump to make time to chill. But I'm a child? Okay. Okay, it's been 2 weeks you saying you're down to chill. So what do you have to say? So stupid. No one has time to F around with a flake ass. You just showed you're just not putting your words up. It's so hard to read this guy's texts. Nothing to say. Thought so. Flake ass. See, this right here, if all of these texts are really by him, he's baiting for more responses. He waits for responses, they don't say anything, so he says nothing to say, and then says more insulting things. Can't teach a flake ass mindset otherwise. You phony girl, and have fun with some subpar like you used to. I'm not understanding what you're gaining from this right now. What I'm saying is you ain't real. She says, yeah, I'm not real, lol. That's what it is. He says, you say you're down to hang out, but you aren't. I'd prefer you say otherwise. Okay, then get the F out of here, you flake ass bitch. Me, hey, wanna chill? You, yeah, I'm down, but you aren't. So quit being fake. Dumbass stuff. No wonder you're single. So now go ride some short 5-inch, you effing bitch. Jordan adds one more tweet stating, well, that didn't take long to get reported and deleted. I guess predators are allowed on TikTok, but the ones who call them out aren't. Prior to this tweet, she did post her TikTok onto Twitter. Now, before I play this video, I do just want to let you know that I'm not playing the video in its entirety due to how long it is, but the video is in the Twitter thread, which is linked in the description if you would like to see it in its entirety.
I'm Jordan Max, and I am the spicy content creator who called Bentelect out on his bullshit. I just wanted to clear a few things up. I have more screenshots that I did not post on Twitter, so I'm gonna post those and kind of talk you through the whole conversation we had. Just for the record, Ben and I have talked before. That's why he has my phone number. Almost exactly a year ago, my friend introduced me to who he was. He was like, hey, there's this content creator. He lives in your city. You guys should, be friends. You should reach out to him. So I did. And we talked a little bit, nothing serious. But we were just looking for 2 different things. And so it didn't work out. So we didn't talk for a year. And then I got this text message from him about a month ago saying, random, but do you want to do a podcast episode? I replied. He said he's just having people on talking about random stuff. I was on a work trip, so I couldn't do it until I got back. I asked if I could do it as my star persona, not my real life persona, and he agreed. He said, I assumed you'd want to do that one. Here's a screenshot of me texting Ben. He said he wanted to do a phone call to brainstorm some ideas for the podcast. So we were chatting on the phone. He told me he had just gotten back from Pittsburgh to go to a festival called Picklesburg. I came up with the idea that, building off of that content that he had already created, to do like a pickle mukbang video where we would get a bunch of different brands of pickles and taste test them, blind taste test, rate them from 1 to 10, best to worst. All of our discussion on the topic of the podcast was done over the phone. And here's the screenshot of him changing his mind yet again. All right, I'm gonna ask you the question, do you wanna make a video for OnlyFans? I said, when? He said, today. I said, no. You need a TTS test. Industry standard is to get tested every 14 days. I said, you need a TTS test from within the last 14 days and an OnlyFans creator account. Neither of which he had. Notice that I did not say no forever. I just said, you need these things. I figure, not boundaries. Yes, boundaries, but also, guidelines to be a safe and responsible performer. He wanted to make a video for my page, not knowing that in order to make a video for any OF page, you need to have your own creator account because there's paperwork and ID checks involved, verification. I said, I'm good, thanks. Thanks though. Trying to keep it completely professional at this point. So here's where he says, no worries. 20, 30 minutes later, he says, hey, gonna do the pickle video with someone else. Thanks though. Keep in mind, the pickle video was my idea. I came up with that idea. You can't just like, I mean, I guess you can because that's how he's built his whole platform on stealing other people's content. He basically admitted to only inviting me to do his podcast so he could try to sleep with me. I'm pretty sure that's what that meant. Everyone saw his Notes app non-apology, and you know, if he really wants to apologize, he's not blocked. He hasn't attempted to reach out to me. As far as I know, he hasn't tried to reach out to any of the other women, not girls, women, that he's affected with his actions. So, you know, that might be a good place to start. Also, therapy.
There is some additional informative information that is provided in this video, such as the fact that she goes into detail about how Bentelek didn't just blow her off out of pettiness because she didn't want to do an OF video with him, but it was also her idea to do this pickle video, and he essentially stole it, which is pretty on brand for him, and he decided to do the video with somebody else instead. She also goes into detail about her beliefs that he was really just inviting her over to do an OF video to sleep with him, and that the podcast was an excuse. Also, I'm under the impression that this TikTok was filmed prior to him threatening to sue her over her tweets, since she said in this video that he hasn't attempted to reach out to her, which, by the way, if his only attempt to reach out to her after all of this has happened is him threatening to sue her, that is not a good look at all, even if he does have actual intention to do so. I'm not a lawyer, but threatening to sue somebody and writing before actually getting a lawyer involved doesn't seem like a good idea to me. It just comes across as intimidating. But what do I know? I do want to agree with this tweet though, because something interesting is that this is not the first time TikTok has silenced people who have spoken out about larger creators. For example, a couple of years ago when people were speaking out about Zoe Laverne, who had a relationship with a 13-year-old when she was 19, she seemingly received no repercussions from TikTok. Meanwhile, anybody who spoke up about her on that platform had their videos taken down and had major consequences to their accounts. I think it is really important that she shared this on Twitter along with TikTok because this video was removed from TikTok. This is something that's really frustrating whenever anybody tries to speak out about a larger creator on TikTok for doing heinous things. Again, like I mentioned, Zoe Laverne, or people in that sphere where they have done something really, really predatory, for a lack of a better term, and people try to speak up on it. The people speaking out on it end up getting the consequences, while that larger TikToker seems to get away with it. TikTok seems to have a reputation for protecting their larger creators, even if those larger creators do something reprehensible. In this case, it seems like they may allegedly be protecting Bentelek, who has many accusations of being a sex pest, trying to coerce women into sleeping with him, and even trying to offer to pay women money. I feel like he could get in trouble for offering money for someone to sleep with him. His idea of being able to sleep with people because they work in an adult industry is insane to me. The fact that he is constantly being manipulative and saying, oh, well, we could do this for your OnlyFans. I just wanted to try and help you. Shut the up. The treatment of people who do OnlyFans is so awful by some people, including this guy. I also think that the things he said in these text messages were extremely abusive. If somebody is talking to you the way that Bentelek has allegedly spoken to the women that have come forward, the best thing you could do is just stop responding. And I don't mean that in an invalidating way, like you shouldn't feel upset that somebody is saying those things to you, because I know your natural instinct is going to want to respond and defend defend yourself and put a person in their place, for lack of a better term, for talking to you like that. And that is an example of self-respect. I'm saying don't do it for your own good, because people like this are seeking a response. They are seeking more engagement. They want that response. No matter what you say, you can give the most rational and informative response. All he wants to do, as you can see in these texts, is lash out. He wants to belittle people, and he wants to talk to people in a very nasty way because he isn't getting what he wants, which is sexual interaction from these girls. But like I said in the beginning of this video, he did make a second apology, or a first apology, because a lot of people don't consider the first statement he made to be an apology at all. Nevertheless, he did make a TikTok video. And again, I'm only sharing certain clips of this video, but this time not because of its length, but due to the fact that, again, he seems to be copyright claim happy. But I just want to give a reminder that this provides context to this situation, and it falls under the guise of fair use.
The first thing I want to say is I'm sorry to anyone that I've made feel uncomfortable. I want to say to any girl who I've been rude to, whether through text or in person, that I'm sorry. I understand that me being sorry does not excuse that kind of behavior. I will continue to work on myself and do better. Thanks, guys.
The full video is only like an extra 5 seconds long, by the way. Also, by him making this video, it seems like he confirms everything that has come out with all of the very disturbing text messages he sent. He did not deny any of it. He did not deny sending any of these text messages. He didn't even really deny anything in his text post. He just worded things strangely, like, I don't condone the things being said. Never did he say in the text post or his video that this didn't happen, which leads me to believe that yes, the text messages are real, that he did say these things, and that all of this really did take place. And with that being the case, this guy completely sucks. And I agree with Jordan in the fact that he really should seek therapy. And I truly hope that he does not continue this behavior with anybody else. Thank you so much if you've made it all the way to the end of this video, and thank you so much to everybody supporting me over on Patreon. Thank you so much to anybody who has given me a super thanks. Before I go, I want to thank Factor once again for sponsoring today's video. Again, if you are interested in trying Factor for yourself, head to factor75.com or click the link in the description below and use code TehMimi50 to get 50% off of your first Factor box. With that being said, hopefully my computer continues to stand on its last few legs, and I will see you in the next video.